Okay, but this one, though, this one has a character that is very familiar. It's also one of my favorite paired units in terms of just straight combat. They are really good, and when they get their paired... because there are two types of specials in this game. Solo specials and multi-attack specials. Think like the map attacks from Super Robot Wars. The thing is, there are two ways to unlock these specials. One is through leveling up, as per always. The others only become available after certain story beats. Theirs is one of the story beats one, and is evolving a familiar figure to this channel. One that...
Calling this thing a dimensional transport device is so long. I feel like we should call it something else. How about the DTD?
Darkness, darkness, darkness!
Darkness, darkness, darkness.
Yeah, I also do love his whole Hawkins' whole Western getup, complete with revolver. So this is the endless.
Though he is supposed to be based off of Captain Hook, apparently.
Huh. But yeah, so Haken and Kaguya are from the Endless Frontier, the other game we were talking about, which is the other game part of the crossover timeline.
Although it's more of a super robot game than a...
Yeah, I was about to get to that, because when he shows up... Because
all of the characters in SRW, OG, the Endless Frontier, or whatever it's called, right? All of the main pilots are based off of different fairy tale characters, including Reiji and Xiaomu, because Reiji's last name, Arisu, sounds a lot like Alice.
Yeah, which makes complete sense, but with the fact that I'd say Project Cross Zone 2 plays more heavily with the whole Alice in Wonderland thing with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it even gives us a fucking white rabbit!
Yep.
The only difference is that instead of a annoying cat for him, it's an annoying fox. And actually, no, she's a cat, isn't she? She's got... Are they both foxes? I know Xiaomu's a fox.
Saya's a werefox, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yep, but yeah, speaking of old friends, though... Because I believe this is him. Nope, this is an enemy. Yep, so this is the tutorial about breakable objects. Certain pieces of the environment, if you walk up to them, you can break them. And some of them, when you break them, will give you items. You'll actually usually be able to tell what you could break for items, because they'll be themed after the area, so sometimes they'll be treasure chests. Other times they'll be suitcases. If you see an object on the board that looks like it should be breakable, but it isn't, it's usually there to prevent you from going to that spot, because something's going to spawn there.
Yeah.
This situation calls for a bounty hunter. These two are really fucking good, though. Their damage is insane. Actually, I just says this game's actually going to have quite a few familiar faces for us because of Super Robot Wars.
Oh yes.
Because one other series that appears in this game that we've seen on the channel before is Sakura Wars. And pretty much every character appeared in SR30 Sakura Wars scenario appears in this game, with the exception of one.
Another fun fact with Haken here is, I think he gets isekai'd into the Super Robot Wars OG timeline as well.
Yeah. But, oh, here we go. Familiar face! It's good to see him again. Our man who pilots the horse, I mean, the mech riding the horse.
Sanger, what the fuck are you doing here?
And this is what has led to the joke I made at SR30. For those unaware, because of the fact that he appears at SR30, establishing a connection between these worlds, there is now a possibility that when Ryoma goes to court, he could have called Phoenix Wright as a lawyer.
There's a non-0% chance that Ryoma Nagai could have
been defended by Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright to defend him. This is correct.
God, I love crossovers. Like, I'll be honest. Like, anything with Bam Presto and crossovers, you just never know what the fuck you're gonna see, and the interactions are almost always fucking gold.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm so excited for Y, now that like, we've got Godzilla, which, first off, the Singular Point cast in itself, the human side, is fun as hell.
I loved watching Singular Point.
Yes, it got...
I'm really sad that it did not get more notoriety.
I don't know if there is still talks that Season 2 is happening. Yeah, which means we're getting a Mecha Goji.
Yes. Yes, we are.
The only thing I'd say is Singular Point leaned a lot into quantum physics.
Yes.
Which, I didn't mind that because of the fact I'm a 00 fan. Quantum physics is nothing new to me.
Plus, like, just... if you're a sci-fi nut in general, quantum physics is nothing.
Eventually you hit quantum physics.
Yeah, everything eventually turns to quantum physics, given enough time.
I'd say the exception... Actually, no, Stargate had with the 0-point modules, but it was never, like, their main focus. Explaining how those fucking things worked. Because it was, like, a lot of exotic particles and vacuum energy. But, yeah, he's a battleship... a member on the battleship Kurigane, and he pilots the Dying Guard.
Yeah, he was on the Kurigane and piloting the Daigen God.
Which is the same one, if I remember correctly, he was piloting an SR30.
I believe so.
So, yeah, he's kind of come... This is essentially, if I remember correctly, he's at an earlier point than we saw him in SR30 in terms of his timeline.
Actually, there is not supposed to be a D in that. It is just supposed to be Daigengar.
So it's probably a translation error.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from the new AD world. Which would be, if I remember correctly, he's from SROG.
I think so. I'm not sure.
He's either from OG or he's from one of the crossover ones.
The thing is, right? The Daigengar first appeared in second Super Robot Wars Alpha.
So they could.
So maybe
he could be from a crossover one.
Yeah.
Let's not delve too deep into it because this game doesn't, and we're not gonna go insane trying to figure out what SR he's from.
I just need to see where the Kurigane is.
Oh, speaking of crossovers.
Okay, yeah. This is the OG version of Sanger. This is not the Alpha timeline.
This means he's actually, but that also means he's met a lot of the other characters we knew from 30.
Yes.
Also,
he has met all the OG. Oh, yeah, the bees.
The bees. So, fun fact, actually, Darkstalkers was my first fighting game. And to go a step further, I did not start it on console. No. I played an arcade cabinet.
Ooh.
I actually got fairly decent at Darkstalkers. It's been a while, though, so my skill is gone. This was like, I'm talking back when I was in middle school. And she's awakening the sword. So he goes from a katana to a fucking broadsword. It's been well taken care of, so she infused it with the spirit of its wielder. Can you even use it? Absolutely, I am one with the sword. God damn, it's Ryoba all over again. My getter is made for me. He deserves a special name. He shall call it the Type X Colossal Blade.
Ah, yes.
And we're not alone here. This fucking asshole. And it's our boss unit for the level. Straight from Darkstalkers. Jeddah Doma. Head of the Doma family.
Also, something to note. Sanger here is not Japanese.
I kind of figured with the name.
That is just like a little bit of dialogue that appears occasionally in Cross Zone, but he is not Japanese.
It is kind of interesting, though, seeing like all the different art styles going on here with some of the characters, because you can see Sanger's art style is more similar to what we saw back at Super Robot Wars.
Yeah.
As opposed to Haken or even Doma here. They all have different styles, and much like I like back at Super Robot Wars, they emulate the properties they're from.
Mm-hmm.
Though some of the ones who don't have portraits and they're all original, it's not as noticeable. Like, for example, ones who are more sprite-based games like Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins. Yep, he's trying to... the libido of one sensitivity reaches the realm of Parisio. Yeah, he seeks souls. Souls worthy of his attention. I don't give a shit!
Yeah.
The sword that smites evil. Also, fun fact, Kaguya here also gives Xiaomu, she's jealous. She's jealous of her and Cosmos. I cannot wait to talk about Xiaomu. She's fucking hysterical at times. Yep, so here's our other unit. Solo units. So the way that solo units work are... They will not appear on the map. They instead are tied to a paired unit, and you can use left trigger to call them during battle. It's another way to trigger the cross attack.
So think about Haken here, right? He was originally from a... Oh, God.
Go.
He's from a different world in the OG universe originally.
Okay.
He is a genetically engineered human designed to be a combat soldier and pilot.
That explains the skill.
Yeah. He and his friend Ashen were... like... They were in a battleship named Neverland that was lost in a dimensional jump from the Shadow Mirror universe and ended up in the
Endless Frontier
world.
Yeah. Crossover lore.
Yeah.
No, the fact that the ship was called Neverland, I can appreciate.
Oh yeah. I mean that's That's why Haken is a reference to Hook.
I guess, like, despite the Western appearance, he also does still have the whole pirate appearance with some of the designs. Like a weird Western.
You can kind of see it with his jacket.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a Western
Jacket.
duster. It doesn't look like a duster. It looks more like a pirate coat.
Let's see. Invincible or attack. So, So, oh, fuck. I didn't mean to do that, but fuck it. So, one thing to talk about with the, abilities everyone has. So, it's a lot like SR, where SR, every character has an SP skill. Or, as we called it back in that, Spirit Dex. I'm probably going to, keep the same term. Because it is just a good term. Every unit builds them, but solo units also have them, so everyone essentially is running 3 full spirit, not 3, but like 2 full spirit decks, because a paired unit has one, and then so does the solo units. Some of these do things like increase your attack, defense, some heal, some cure status effects, some allow every attack to be a guard breaker. Now I'm just gonna take the hit. I'm just trying to break all the boxes because, oh my god, we are going to need the items later.
By the way, do you remember Exelin?
From...
the...
Oh, the mech!
Yeah. The... I forget who she was partnered up with. But she appeared in the DLC.
Yeah, she's, Excellent was the one...
She was the Vice Reater pilot.
Yeah, and she was I can't remember the guy, but I have a model of his mech.
Yeah. Kyosuke.
Yeah. The man who tried to outgamble Lelouch.
So, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Do you know what Hawkins' last name is?
Is it the same as hers?
Yes.
Is he her father?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's weirder.
So, he is the child of her parallel world version.
Of course.
Yep, gotta love the OG timeline.
Love the OG timeline. You know what? She probably loves this idea, though, because of the fact...
It also explains why he's so flirtatious. He got it from his mom.
Oh, God, yeah, because that was her whole thing with back in the last one. Back in 30 when we saw her. Especially when it was with Mr. Man goes, I can beat the Lucian gambling. No, the fuck you can't.
The funny thing is, right, whenever Kyosuke, shows that affection back towards her, she gets very flustered.
She can flirt, but she can't take the flirting.
No, she cannot.
I will say, we talked about this. So I noticed reading about, now that we have the full translation of the, set trailer that came out on Easter.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the DLC for, not the DLC, the early purchase bonuses. It specifically states for, Vangray, Grangvang, and Cybuster that you're getting both mech and pilot. But for Pteranodon and Zilgard, it doesn't specify pilot, it just says mech.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll be seeing the Aquamarine Sorceress again, and I don't think we'll be seeing the fucking Fallen Angel again. I love everyone's reaction to her. She's beautiful, but she's a total girl failure. And we loved her. She was great, because every single character, a bunch of characters, male or female, were just like, no, we must win her heart. Poor Rami, poor Rami. But, the main thing, though, is if we're getting pilot and, because even at the end of the trailer, you see Soji for a brief moment.
Yeah, we know for a fact that we're getting Soji.
But if we're getting mech and pilot for the Vangs, that means we're also getting Chitose, and more importantly...
Yes, 9 will be appearing, it seems.
I cannot wait. I want an interaction with her in the Walkyr group. That is going to be fucking amazing.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Look, nothing will beat her interaction with Shinji, though. If you just got a little bit more confidence, I bet you could slay all of these... Ah!